Imagine a massive volcanic eruption. Ash clouds black out the sky, global temperatures plummet, crops die, people starve, and the world descends into a grimy, soot-covered apocalypse. You'd think the last thing anyone would say in the middle of that chaos is, you know what we need? A wooden scooter for grown men. But that's exactly what happened. Well, sort of. This is the bizarre, brilliant, and ash-covered story of how the deadliest eruption in recorded history gave birth to the world's first bicycle. And no, this isn't a metaphor, it's a real chain reaction of history, complete with failed crops, dead horses, and one very determined baron on a mission to scoot his way into the future. The date is April 5th, 1815. Mount Tambora, a volcano in what is now Indonesia, goes kaboom, with the force of 170,000 Hiroshima bombs. The explosion was so loud it was heard 2,000 kilometers away. Imagine something exploding in Paris and the people in Rome going, "Did you hear that?" The eruption wasn't just big, it was catastrophic. It blasted 160 cubic kilometers of ash and gas high into the stratosphere, where it circled the globe and dimmed the sun. Temperatures dropped, weather patterns collapsed, and the world slipped almost overnight into a cold grey winter. By the next year, 1816, Europe was facing a catastrophe. Not from war or disease, but from the sky. That summer never came. Snow fell in June, frost hit in August, crops withered in the fields, rivers froze when they shouldn't have. Across the continent, grain prices soared, riots broke out, and entire communities were plunged into hunger. In New England, it was called 1800 and froze to death. What Tambora created wasn't just a natural disaster, it was a global climate shock, and its ripple effects reached into every corner of society. With crops failing, livestock starved, and horses, the backbone of 19th century transport, died in staggering numbers. Suddenly, the world needed a new way to move. Enter Karl von Drais, a German aristocrat with more brains than social tact. Drais wasn't just lounging around in his mansion playing sad piano music about the weather. No, he saw the problem. He saw the dead horses, and like any true innovator, he invented the Laufmaschine, or the running machine in English. He built a two-wheeled wooden contraption that you sat on and pushed along with your feet. No pedals, no gears, just you, gravity, and the burning desire to not be walking anymore. He took it on a test run in June 1817, covering 13 kilometers from Mannheim to the outskirts and back, and he was faster than any horse-drawn carriage, and crucially, with no horse required. This proto-bicycle, later nicknamed the dandy horse because of all the dandies riding it, was revolutionary. It was the first time anyone had dared to build a vehicle that required balancing. People were so used to having their feet on the ground, they reacted as if Karl had reinvented fire. Now, don't let the aristocratic backstory fool you. Drais was no idle rich boy. He was an early eco-warrior, democrat, and generally the kind of guy your average 19th century monarch would have side-eyed suspiciously. After a failed revolution, he was declared insane and stripped of his pension, because nothing says, "Thanks for saving us from a horse shortage," like being thrown under the metaphorical carriage. Drais' Laufmaschine sparked a fad, briefly. People whizzing down sidewalks, knocking over pedestrians, and looking fabulous while doing it. But the roads were rough, the ride was unforgiving, and without brakes or suspension, it was more bruises than breakthrough. By 1820, cities from Milan to Philadelphia had banned them outright. Horses returned, crops grew, and the Laufmaschine was tossed aside. The world just wasn't ready for two wheels. Not yet. But something stuck. That balancing act, that feeling of gliding on two wheels, it wouldn't die. Engineers picked up the idea decades later. They added pedals, gears, pneumatic tyres. Fast forward a bit, and suddenly you've got the velocipede, the bone shaker, the penny farthing, and eventually the sleek, beautiful, traffic-dodging marvel we ride today. So yes, technically a volcano invented the bicycle. So next time you're coasting down a bike lane with the wind in your hair and existential dread in your heart, just remember, you owe it all to a global catastrophe, a creatively desperate baron, and the collective starvation of 19th century livestock. Cycling, born not out of peace or joy, but out of ash, famine, and German efficiency. History moves in strange ways, and sometimes that's on two wheels. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.